Would you come sit with me for a while? Yesterday, I was out dashing, just trying to make a little bit of extra money, and I started spiraling into this question that I find myself thinking about a little bit more often. And that question is, who gets to decide how much things cost in the first place? Who decided that safe housing or clean food, basic health, those should be luxuries in the first place? Who looked at a starving child or someone sleeping on the sidewalk and thought, yeah, but who's going to pay for them? And the thing that gets me is the money is made up. That's that's the part that gets me every time. It's imaginary. And at this point, it's a digital number on a screen. And yet somehow that imaginary number holds more power than our capacity to care. We have the people, the machines, the equipment, the food, and the land. We have the means to take care of everyone. But we've been conditioned to believe that what's stopping us is a lack of pretend numbers. And while people suffer, there are folks hoarding billions, more than they or their grandkids would ever be able to spend in 100 lifetimes. And they went out and they achieved that, and that's great. More power to them. Obviously, more digital numbers to them. But they're not using it, they're not sharing it. And I guess that's their right. But they just watch it grow like a high score in a video game. No one else is even allowed to play. And because it's come up in the comments a few times now, I'm not obviously that close of a follower of Christianity in the traditional sense. But I definitely vibe with what Jesus said, and even more with how he lived. He walked with the poor, he shared meals with people who didn't have much. He healed without asking for payment. And when the system got too greedy, he flipped the table, man. That's not ego, that's heart. He wasn't rolling with the elite. He was rolling with the people who'd been told they didn't matter. And his message that you're divine, you're worthy, the kingdom's already in you, that's not just a sermon, that's a reminder. I just think a lot of that gets lost in translation sometimes. Like, people quote him, but don't hear him. They build temples in his name, but forget he was trying to build something inside of us. So no, I don't go to church, but I do think Jesus was a radical, loving, awake soul. And I think if more of us lived like that, this world would feel a lot less broken. And I don't think this is even just spiritual. I think this is practical. You don't have to be religious to see the absurdity of a world with thousands of empty homes while human beings sleep in tents outside of grocery stores. I'm not mad at people who have big houses or who have achieved things in their life that have given them the financial means to acquire their wildest dreams. I'm happy for them. But I believe everyone deserves a safe place to rest. And I don't think that's idealism. I think that should just be basic decency. The question isn't who's paying for it. The question is, why are we still pretending that we can't? I think we spend a lot of time waiting, hoping someone in power will wake up, look around, and finally say, this isn't right. We have to do better. But most of them won't. And not because they're evil, but just because maybe they're still asleep. So maybe we stop waiting. Maybe we start with presence, with kindness, with seeing the people the world tends to look past. You you can't change the whole world in a single moment, but you can start with just one small act of kindness. Maybe it's for somebody who really needs it, someone you know is hurting, maybe someone you haven't spoken to in a while. Or maybe it's for you. We're constantly told to hustle, to achieve, to grind, rest later. But then when you stop to rest, if you're not also achieving something somehow while you're resting, they call you lazy. So sit down, read a book, soak in a hot bath, take a walk in the quiet part of the world, and just do something you enjoy, just because you enjoy it. That matters too. Not to fight, not to fix everything overnight, but to hold space, to make room, to say with our lives, you matter, you're not invisible. And maybe that someone is a teacher who brings snacks because they know hunger hides behind silence. Or it's the parent who holds it together one more day, even when the weight feels too heavy. Or a dad on a couch in a bathrobe, just trying to get his thoughts out instead of locking them away anymore. And I'm not doing it because it'll fix everything. I'm just doing it because I feel it's true. Maybe the most radical thing we can do in a world obsessed with more, faster, forever is to slow down, to love anyway, and to abide right where we are. And so I guess if you're wondering what the pointless truth is here, it's this. We made up the rules. We made up the money. We made up the story that some people deserve more than others. But what's real, what's always been real, is how we treat each other. So, if the system doesn't make sense, maybe that's because it was never supposed to. But you were. And so is kindness, and rest, and care. That's the pointless truth. Thanks for listening as always, and I'll catch you on down the trail.